This green screen is coming down and I'm replacing it with something better, because shooting films on green screen can be a huge challenge, especially in small spaces like this. So join me as we try a new way to get a near perfect green screen using the secret ingredient in this box.
When we made our short film, Treasure of the Mummy, the lead actor could only stand about here without getting green light on her. That only gave her 1 meter of movement space. But if we can gain more space, that will open up a lot more possibilities for the kind of films we can make in here. So how do we do green screen without a green screen? Well, to explain this, we need to go back in time.
Introvision, a company that started back in 1980, invented virtual production before virtual production even had a name. If you're familiar with Corridor Crew, you might have seen them talking about this clip from The Fugitive of Harrison Ford running away from a train.
How? How?
It wasn't back projection, it's not green screen. Instead, he was filmed on a retroreflective screen. This is the same fabric used on high-vis jackets. It's made of extremely small glass beads, and when light hits it, it's reflected right back towards the source of light.
It doesn't look like much until you look at it through the eyepiece of the Introvision system.
Introvision was also used on classics like Stand By Me and Outland, one of my favorite sci-fi movies, and we're about to use the same kind of technology on our new green screen.
So we just bought a whole bunch of this retro-reflective fabric from Alibaba. So I've got one slice up here already. I'm going to put the second one up right here on the rail. If you think you've seen this before, hold on, because there is a company called Reflect Media that uses a similar solution with a reflective screen and a ring of LEDs that go round the lens of the camera. We're not quite doing this because there is a problem with this method. Those LEDs, they're not coming from the exact entrance pupil of the lens. If the light is coming from any other position, you get a dark edge around the talent. We're going to try and avoid that with the next step.
This is what we're going to use to solve that dark edge problem. It's a teleprompter, and this is obviously what you would normally use to reflect words in and read a script, but I'm going to use it for a slightly different purpose. We're going to reflect light right off the beam splitter glass. It's going to bounce off the screen and back into the lens. Just look what happens when we turn this on.
I mean, I can't see any green at all looking back at this, but I can actually stand right up against the screen and we have no spill at all. This is really cool. So now I can walk forward. I'm not sure at what point I'm actually going to get any spill on me, so I'm going to do a test by coming in nice and close like this.
I think now is a perfect time to show you how this keys in DaVinci. There are some problems. You can definitely see a dark edge on this footage right here, but it doesn't look as bad as the one from Reflect Media. But it's still my key, so let's have a little look. Let's take a color picker and select the edge and take a look at the alpha channel. The edge is pretty nice, actually. There is a lot of detail in the hair right here. Loads of detail. This is pretty damn good. Now let's talk about the problems. Most obvious are the eyes. There's too much green light coming off the beam splitter, and that's causing this issue right here. This is where the green reflection hits my eye. Having said that, I did come very close to the camera. I was maybe 70 centimeters from the lens. Number 3 is absolutely the flaw. That material just looks really creased, and it's being lit from the front, which just makes everything look so much worse. So we've got to solve a dark edge, green spill coming off the light from the teleprompter, and floor problems.
Hey Josh, what's going on?
This light is too big, and I kind of see it now. So we need something different, and I ordered a bunch of these single LEDs from Amazon, but we need a new way to mount it. So I've also got this magic arm, so I'm going to actually just find a way to attach that right now. We need this tiny light source to be at the exact entrance pupil of the lens. You have to think of it like shining a torch at someone and then viewing that from the POV of the torch. So if you're perfectly lined up, you won't see the shadow behind the person. So it took a while, but I think we've got it. And if we do, that means that we've solved our edge problem and the front spill problem by having a smaller light source. But I did promise you a near perfect green screen, so we need to fix the floor.
You're gonna ruin your iron.
We're in uncharted territory here, guys.
Oh.
So you can iron this stuff. You can iron this stuff. This would be great if it was applied professionally to a curve, an actual cyclorama. But in the meantime, this is the best I can do. We've been shooting for a bit already, and out of the 3 things we're trying to fix, we definitely don't have any green spill from the front. So that's a win. The floor is a big problem. It's very creased, even though I applied it as smoothly as possible. Perhaps the best thing to do would be either to have a physical floor or to use a traditional green screen just for the place people stand. And we still have a dark edge. It's still there, and I'm not sure how we're going to get rid of it. It seems less pronounced, but it's a literal black line around me. We've got a few more tests we're going to do. Fingers crossed we get a solution.
We've had a really long afternoon in the studio, and this thing's just not working. Luckily, we were able to have Peter from Anti-Latency join us on a call. We were on there for about an hour, maybe more, talking about all of the possible problems that we may have. The biggest one is the dark edge. It just won't go away. It's really annoying. It's maybe time for me to accept that this solution may not be the perfect green screen that I've been after. At this point, the project has been going on for months. I've been through multiple LEDs, 2 different torches, and even a different kind of screen which was made out of street sign material, and I had to get rid of that because it was too reflective. But something Peter said has been rattling around in my head.
Maybe this is because of the depth of field. So if this is the effect.
So this is the light coming from our beam splitter, and let's say this is the subject. If the subject is quite far away from the wall here, you can see that the shadow is soft. But if the subject moves closer to the wall, their shadow is going to be sharper. This is a problem because it means that if the person comes far away from the screen, they're going to end up with a soft shadow, which is going to diffuse out from their edges, causing the dark edge. We also have to deal with the aperture of the camera itself. If we have a wide open aperture, we're going to have a soft background, and that's also going to throw the shadow out of focus. So I'm still not sure how we're going to solve it, but we have one more test coming up. Let's see how it goes. It's the day of the final test, and we have to nail it, so we're going to bust out our most powerful tool yet. Based on everything we've learned so far, the most reasonable thing for us to do is have everyone standing right up against this screen here, stop the lens down, and crank all the lights up to eliminate any depth of field problems that we might have. But that would defeat the point of everything we're trying to do here, and that's reclaim space in this room so we can move around and do shots that we otherwise would struggle with. So we're going to set a rule, and that's that you can only be 1.5 meters from the camera, never any closer. I think that's going to solve a great deal of our problems, but we're about to find out. So let's get started. Setting up the light on the teleprompter was way easier this time, so I'm really pleased. Partly maybe because I've had a lot of experience by this point. We're setting up an Unreal Engine background right now. It's a kind of a meeting space at sunset, but most importantly, we're going to use the whole space.
There it is. All right. Oh, I see. No more green, Josh. No more green.
No more green. I can walk all the way from here to about here. I can walk over here. I just have so much more freedom.
Camera's rolling.
Okay, we have a result here. We have a 90% good result in camera, no spill. A shot like this would absolutely have spill. It would be bouncing off all the walls in here. Getting that in camera and being able to move around the space like we intended to do is such a relief. Now, the secret ingredient, of course, is software, post-production. We can't really avoid that, but the good thing is we have really good tools nowadays to do this. So let's dive into DaVinci and I'll show you how we do edge correction to get rid of the dark edge. So here we are with the keyed footage. It's keyed really well, just like it had done before, but we do have the dark edge to fix. It's most obvious right here on the ear. This whole time I've been kind of worried about fixing things in post, but this operation I'm about to do works like a charm. So we do the edge correction with an operation called a blur divide, and that's these 5 nodes here, which is an erode, a matte control, a blur, a channel booleans, and a merge. All of these nodes together basically take a sample of the color further into the mask and then pull it over the edges, removing the dark edge. So let me show you what happens when we turn it on. Gone. Fixed! I've put together a free training video on how to use these 5 nodes to fix edges in compositing. It's really useful for any green or blue screen that you're doing, so you'll definitely want to check that out in the description below. And without further ado, here are the results of our final tests. And that's not the end of our adventures with retroreflective green screens. There's so much more I want to do with this. But in the meantime, hit that like button below, because you watched the video for this long, you must have enjoyed yourself. And I recommend you watch this video next, because that's our Treasure of the Mummy short film, which was done on the old green screen, but the results were still pretty good. I'll see you on the next one.
That's all there is to it.